Welcome to Living the Empowered Life podcast, where we discuss all things empowering, encouraging and inspiring. My name is Yvonne Ellis. I'm an empowerment speaker, author, coach, trainer and founder of Yumi Empowerment, a company that facilitates the empowerment of people. I help people to make positive life change, live in their purpose and develop into their best version of self. I share stories, interviews, spiritual encouragement and actionable tips to empower, encourage and inspire you to live the life you want. So if you want to live the empowered life, join me each week on my podcast so we can take the journey together. Hello Empowered Lifers, welcome to episode 17 of Living the Empowered Life podcast. Hope you are all doing well today. Down here in South London, the roads are quiet for a Sunday, but no doubt soon in a few hours' time, because of the football, the whole road is just going to be completely noisy. So I'm taking the opportunity now to record this podcast. And I just want to thank you for listening in to this episode. If it's your first time, welcome. Hope that you will stay tuned for other episodes. And if you've listened into these episodes before, thank you for your continued support. I appreciate it. So in today's episode, I want to talk to you about self-sabotage. Have you struggled with self-sabotage? You know when you set your mind to do something, it's going well, and then you railroad yourself? You start well, you then have a bad day, or negative thoughts show up, or something triggers you, and then self-sabotage shows up and shows out, and well, ruins all your efforts. Well, if you have struggled with self-sabotage, then this episode is for you. Now, self-sabotage has been a major struggle in my life and has been one of the things that has definitely been an enemy of me living the empowered life. I have self-sabotaged on many different things. I mean, there's been diets, my weight management journey, accepting love in a relationship, things I know I'm supposed to be doing to better myself, and then, self-sabotage shows up and rears its ugly head. So I want to share with you something that I had a real battle with self-sabotaging, and that is not feeling worthy of love. That actually was a trigger for self-sabotage in the earlier days of my marriage. I used to sabotage things by just pushing my husband away, like doing things like having arguments and stuff like that, which is obviously quite a negative thing to do. I didn't feel I was worthy to receive love because, I didn't feel I was lovable and didn't believe that I deserved love. Because of my background with childhood trauma, going through sexual abuse in childhood, being in a family as well where love was not openly demonstrated positively, I did not recognize that love was not meant to be painful. So that is why I always sabotaged getting and receiving love from my husband within my marriage. It was a real battle not to do that, and obviously it came through unlearning and learning many different things, mainly through therapy, through the revelation of God's love, through his son Jesus, the love that he displayed in giving his life on the cross for me, learning about what love really looks like. These things helped me not to self-sabotage in that way anymore. And I can positively say that my relationship with my husband is better for it. That was just a small example, but there are many reasons why people self-sabotage. From my experience and in my conversations with people that have experienced the same thing, 3 common things I have found are lack of self-discipline and focus, self-belief, believing that, you can do the thing that you set your mind to do or want to do, and believing you're worthy of the things that you desire, as I just shared in my example about feeling worthy of love. Sometimes I think self-sabotage can come into play as well when you have a fear of the thing that you want to change or the thing that you desire. You've been used to something for so long, used to its comfortability, that the fear of maybe a new routine or a new way of doing things makes that fear come alive. And as you take a step deeper into the unknown, you might think to yourself, oh, this feels strange or it feels scary. And it is at that point that the cycle of self-sabotage begins. Now, to ease the struggle of self-sabotage, I believe this is where self-worth comes in. Believing you are enough, regardless of the outcomes you want, does go a long way on its journey. Knowing that you show up and try is enough, and believing that everything else that you do is a bonus does go some way in the process to stopping the cycle of self-sabotage. As I've mentioned on some of my videos, actually, I'm currently reading a fantastic book by somebody called John Nayland called The Self-Worth Safari. And I recently did a video about self-assessment and self-acceptance, and I will leave a link to it in the show notes below. But his book has been really fascinating because I have been learning that at the root of everything, self-worth is where the journey begins. And in his book, John talks about self-esteem creating conditions on self being kind of the negative factor on the journey to self-acceptance and worth. Being loved by someone that won't hurt you can feel intimidating and make you feel vulnerable, as I shared, in my little example of the self-sabotage struggle that I had. Believing you deserve a chance to have opportunities or experiences or do things you've never dreamed of can make you question yourself, if you're not used to it, of thinking, how dare you want this? How dare you go after this? Maybe because you've never aimed higher, hence that feeling of feeling undeserving. These feelings are normal. Going into the unknown does cause these types of feelings to arise, but self-sabotage is not the answer. And in my experience, I have found it only harms you. So how do you avoid the self-sabotage struggle? Well, some of the things that I found in my experience is to take a day, take it a step and a day at a time. Set realistic goals. Obviously, you want goals that are big enough to stretch you and develop you, but not goals that make you feel totally overwhelmed. If you haven't done it before and you have a setback, it can cause you to sabotage the rest of what you're trying to do. So again, it's just about starting small. Another thing that I believe will help you on the self-sabotage journey is to try and tune into your self-sabotage triggers. What is it that happens just before you sabotage? Is it tiredness? Is it negative thoughts? In recognizing the pitfalls beforehand, you can maybe put in things place before the triggers to help you when they arise. Also, get support from someone you trust and also let them be your accountability partner. This is really, really helpful because if you can check in with somebody about your journey and talk about things maybe that you're finding hard, they can give you that encouragement and that support. This could also mean going to a therapist to get help in understanding what makes you self-sabotage. Therapy really did help me to understand the roots of all types of things in relation to me. A transformational mindset via knowledge, understanding your self-worth. Obviously, within that, organically, self-esteem and confidence will naturally start to be built. Identifying and finding solutions to your triggers and empowerment and help from the living God can help you with the challenges of self-sabotage. These are the things that have and are continuing to help me. I believe they can help you too. You don't have to stay stuck in the struggle of self-sabotage. I know the frustration, shame, and disappointment it can bring. And it can feel like it keeps you bound, but you can break it. So the Bible scripture I want to share with you this week comes from Psalm 46:1 in the NIV version of the Bible. And it says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in times of struggle. This Bible scripture has been a real comfort to me because in times of struggling with temptations to break things, in times of struggling with self-sabotage, it just reminds me that I don't have to do this journey by myself, and neither do you. If you ask God to help you in the areas you keep self-sabotaging in, He will help you. He will make Himself known to you. So that is my encouragement to you this week. Ask the living God to help you in the area where you feel bound by your self-sabotage, and He will help you to overcome it. So as usual, I will be posting a notification of this episode on my Instagram. If you're on Instagram, follow me at Yemi Empowerment, YEME_empowerment. Over there, I show quotes and different things that I do to live the empowered life. And when I do post over there about the podcast, I always ask a question in relation to the episode. So my question this week is, are you ready to break the self-sabotage struggle? A simple yes or no will be enough to answer the question. And if you do want help to break that self-sabotage struggle, I am an empowerment coach. You can reach out and contact me, and we can work together to help you to look at some of those things that are keeping you in that struggle. I have some fantastic clients that I'm supporting and helping at the moment, and I will leave all links to everything in the show notes. So that is it for this episode. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.